Kids Radio Show. Tune in to Kids Radio. It's never too late, we're always ready for a show. Tune in to Kids Radio. The songs that you hear will help your music sense to grow. Tune in to Kids Radio and start your hands to clapping or tap your little toe. Tune in to Kids Radio and listen, we're ready to go. And here we are on KIDS Kids Radio. We're gonna tickle your hearts and ears with a few new sounds. Music that is, just keep your dial on. KIDS, tune in to Kids Radio. So the drum's gonna beat, the horn's gonna blow. Tune in to Kids Radio. So the songs that you hear will put you in the know. Tune in to Kids Radio. The music's carried on the air, arrows from the bow. Tune in to Kids Radio and listen on with the show.
Good morning, and here we are on the KIDS Kids Radio Show. We're gonna salute the presidents today. Let's get things rolling with a song about the man who got this country rolling. None other than George Washington.
His name was Washington. His name was Washington. George Washington was his name. He was the president, our very first president. George Washington was his name. He had a hatchet small, the cherry tree was tall. I think I'll chop down that tree. His dad said, "Who did this?" He said, "Did you do this?" George thought, "Oh no, he'll spank me. But I won't tell a lie." He said, "Yes, it was I. I will not do it again." His father said, "That's good. Please be the boy you should. George Washington is your name." His name was Washington. His name was Washington. George Washington was his name. He was the president, our very first president. George Washington was his name. George Washington was his name.
Here's another song about George. If you have a drum at home, you can play along with this next song. It's called Beat the Drum for George Washington.
He marched across our country, a great general was he. He spent his whole life working hard to make our country free. So beat the drum for George Washington, a great and honest man. Come beat the drum for George Washington, the father of our land. First president of our nation, a great leader of our land. He dedicated all his life to serve his fellow man. So beat the drum for George Washington. He made our country free. Come beat the drum for George Washington. His name is history. Come beat the drum for George Washington, the father of our land.
And so that was Beat the Drum for George Washington.
And that's exactly what I did.
What? Who are you?
Oh, I'm not going to tell you that easily. You'll have to guess.
Well, let me look you over. You're wearing tattered blue and white clothing, and you have a drum attached to your side.
Very good. Anything else you notice?
Yeah, I seem to smell something like gunpowder. Is that you?
Yes, I got a little too close to a cannon once.
And that blue and white outfit looks a lot like an old Continental Army uniform that George Washington's men wore during the American Revolution.
You sure do know your history.
You bet I do. You look a little like the boy in that famous painting called The Spirit of 1776, where the little drummer and the fife players are marching with bandaged heads and everything.
Well, that was me in the painting, but you still haven't guessed my name.
But how could that be you in the painting? That was done over several hundred years ago.
Oh, but you forget this is radio where anything goes and everything is possible.
That's a good point, but I still don't know your name. Tell me, did you know George Washington?
Right up to old George's wooden teeth.
Wooden teeth? You mean George Washington really had wooden teeth?
He sure did. I should know, 'cause I whittled him a new set of dentures at Valley Forge during that cold, cold winter when we crossed the river and surprised the British. You should have heard those teeth of George's chatter from the cold when we were rowing across the river. Sounded like a troop of woodchucks and beavers fighting to the death.
But I notice you're wearing a hat now with a big feather in it. I don't remember that in the Spirit of 1776 painting.
Oh, I wasn't wearing it then. Besides, I don't call that a feather.
You don't? Well, what else could you possibly call that big, long, fluffy thing if you don't call it a feather?
I call it a macaroni.
Why, that's the silliest thing I ever... Wait a minute. You call a feather in your hat macaroni? Now I know who you are. You must be Yankee Doodle.
Please, please, I prefer Yankee Doodle Dandy.
Okay, have it your way. I am pleased you stopped in to say hello.
Well, I came to town riding on a pony. Thought I would be sociable.
I'm glad you did. Everyone knows about you. We even have a new updated version of a song about you. Would you like to hear it?
Only if we can dance to it. I've known to be pretty handy with this sort of thing, you know.
And with the girls be handy. Yeah, I remember that line. And this version is quite a toe-tapper, so you're on. Let me just put on the song Yankee Doodle from Nursery Rhyme Disco, and we'll all dance.
So tarnal finny, I wanted Pascaline to get to give to my G-Miney. Yankee Doodle, keep it up, Yankee Doodle dandy. Mind the music and the step, and with the girls be handy. There I see a little keg, its heads were made of leather. They knocked upon it with two sticks to call the men together. Yankee Doodle, keep it up, Yankee Doodle dandy. Mind the music and the step, and with the girls be handy. And there they had a swamping gun as big as a log of maple. Upon a deuced little cart alert for father's cattle. Yankee Doodle, keep it up, Yankee Doodle dandy. Mind the music and the step, and with the girls be handy. And every time they fired it up, it took a horn of powder. It made a noise like father's gun, only nations louder. Yankee Doodle, keep it up, Yankee Doodle dandy. Mind the music and the steps, and with the girls be handy. Scared me so I ran the streets, nor stopped till I got home and safely locked in Granny's little chamber. Yankee Doodle, keep it up, Yankee Doodle dandy. Mind the music and the steps, and with the girls be handy. Yankee Doodle, keep it up, Yankee Doodle dandy. Mind the music and the step, and with the girls be handy.
I have another version of a song I played last week. It's called I Have a Dream from the album Action Songs for the Holidays. And here's Jim Mandel to sing it for you. Go, Jim.
I have a dream that we all could love one another. I have a dream that we can be sisters and brothers. I have a dream that when the sun shines down on the world, that there'd be peace on earth in every place for everyone of every race. Let's be good to each other. Let's be happy and free. Let's remember those who dreamed and died for you and me. Let's remember our heroes. Let's remember those who cared about giving us a better life through the dreams that they had shared. I have a dream that we all could love one another. I have a dream that we can be sisters and brothers. I have a dream that when the sun shines down on the world, that there'd be peace on earth in every place for everyone of every race. That there'd be peace on earth in every place for everyone of every race.
Let's liven things up a bit with a song that'll help you learn your presidents in order. It's entitled Presidential Boogie, and it's so hot that it sizzles. Listen. Presidential Boogie! Presidential Boogie! Presidential Boogie! Presidential Boogie! I opened up my history book, and you'll never guess what I did find. A list of presidents that seemed so long, so many names into my mind. What was I to do with a test coming soon to see who knows the presidents? So I wrote this song, now you can do. Just sing it, sing it, sing it, sing it through and through. Washington, Adams, Jefferson, Madison, Monroe, Adams, Jackson, Van Buren, Harrison, Tyler, Polk, Taylor, Fillmore, Pierce, Buchanan, Lincoln, Johnson, Grant, Hayes, Presidential Boogie. Presidential Boogie. Whoa, 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 yeah. We're halfway through and we're feeling good because there's only 20 more. If you sing along, you can't go wrong. You gotta get a perfect I wonder what that weird noise was coming in during the song right after the singers would get up to President Carter's name. It was right where President Reagan's name should be.
Well, that was me, Miss Carolyn.
It's the giant blueberry. Mr. Blueberry, the last time I saw you, you were overripe and were thinking about becoming a blueberry pie.
Well, that's the wonderful thing about America, Miss Carolyn. You can always change your mind.
Well, what was that sound you were making after President Carter's name?
Oh, you mean this?
It's a little ray gun that you're firing.
Yeah. You get it? Who's president after Carter?
Oh, I see. President Reagan.
Right! We don't want to forget him in that list of presidents, do we?
Oh, my. Well, what are you doing nowadays, Mr. Blueberry?
Well, I've become a news reporter. I just roll around to the elementary schools and look for news. This week I interviewed some boys and girls and I asked them a little question. And here's some of the answers. Would you like to hear them, huh? Huh?
Do I have a choice?
No, so it's time for... the Giant Roving Blueberry Report! Hello, this is your Roving Blueberry here, rolling to wherever there's news. I asked some boys and girls this week one question. If they could be president, what one thing would they do for everyone in the country? This is what they said.
Well, there is quite a few laws that there's, and I'd probably make a few more. I'd probably say that, put signs up that says, no, you can't speed over 64.
Think their own way. Buy me an Atari. I'd have everybody go swimming. Have a feast.
I would have everybody to clean up the United States.
I'd give everybody a day off from school and from work.
I'd have them take off work and go swimming and have a feast and play games and watch TV.
If I was president, I would have everyone take one day off.
Well, I'd try to make peace with the Russians and see if everybody could just give up all this nuclear power stuff and we could all have peace and there wouldn't be any more wars.
I would let ERA, that's Equal Rights Amendment, pass.
I'd make all the schools quit for the rest of their life.
I would let all the boys and girls be president for one day. I would have 2 hours of school a day. 1 hour would be recess. Half an hour would be lunch where the buses would take you to the restaurant of your choice free. And the other half an hour would be schoolwork.
If I was president for a day, I would lower all the taxes from the house to 50 cents. And I would make cars for kids only 1 cent per piece.
If I were president of the United States for one day, I would try to get together a committee to clean up all the big cities and get rid of pollution.
Well, I think I would have no school anymore. And you only had to do the things that you wanted to do. There'd be no doing chores or anything like that. We would have 4 hours of school and we could pick anything we wanted for lunch.
Well, I'd make it so that we're all, in all the schools that there'd be school would get out at 3 o'clock instead of 3:30.
And that's the way it is. There you have it. Watch for the giant roving blueberry at your school, gathering up all those juicy stories that make the news.
Interesting. Here's a song that asks you the question, what would you do if you were elected president?
Washington helped start the country. The slaves were freed by Lincoln. Every president made new laws and spent a long time thinking. If you were elected president, you could make laws for kids like you. If you were elected president, what new things would you do? If you were elected president, you could make new laws just for you. If you were elected president, what new things would you do? My friends, there is one group of citizens in this country that needs its own special laws. If elected, I would propose that all kids have free circuses every summer. If elected, I would propose that small citizens be the first space riders to Mars. And finally, if elected, I would propose that every boy and girl gets to be president for a day. If you were elected president, you could make laws for kids like you. If you were elected president, what new things would you do?
KIDS, tune in to Kids Radio.